Let's talk about something we all feel at some point, that huge gap between having these massive dreams for our lives and what we actually do day to day. We're going to get into why so many of us dream big but just feel completely stuck.
So, does this hit close to home? You've got this vision. You know you're capable of so much more, but somehow the days just keep ticking by and nothing really changes. Well, you're not alone. And it turns out this has very little to do with being lazy.
Maybe that dream even has a number on it, right? For a lot of people, it's that classic milestone, $1 million. Or maybe you're aiming higher, 10 million, enough to completely change the game for you and everyone you care about. Push it even further, 100 million. Now we're talking about a legacy, real generational wealth. And then, of course, there's the big one, $1 billion. The kind of number that literally builds and reshapes entire industries. It feels like the top of the mountain. But then, after all that dreaming, Monday morning hits. It's back to the job, the bills, the debt, and that nagging feeling that the whole system is just kind of rigged against you. But what if it's not? What if the rules to the game are just different from the ones we were all taught?
Okay, so first things first, we have to figure out what's really holding you back. And here's the secret. It's not your job, it's not your boss. It all starts inside your own head. Let's look at the hidden traps your brain sets for you. Our own brains can be pretty sneaky. When you sit there and fantasize about being successful, your brain gets a little shot of dopamine, a little hit of satisfaction, almost like you've already done something. And that feeling, it kills the urgency to take real action. You get to feel good without moving an inch.
And here's another one. This isn't about lacking ambition. It's about fear. See, as long as your big idea stays in your head, it's perfect. It's flawless. But the second you try to make it real, you risk failing. You risk messing up that perfect image. And so to protect our own egos, we just stay in the planning phase forever. Oh man, we've all done this, right? Waiting for the perfect time to start, waiting to feel 100% ready. But here's the thing. That feeling of confidence, of readiness, it doesn't show up before you act. It shows up because you acted. It's the result of taking that first messy, scary, imperfect step. Action is what creates momentum, not the other way around.
Now, this one is huge. Your brain's number one job is to make sure your actions match who you think you are. So if, deep down, your identity is, I'm the kind of person who never finishes things, your subconscious will literally sabotage you when you try to be disciplined. Why? Because it's trying to prove your own self-image right.
So what's the big takeaway here? The real battle isn't out there in the world. It's right between your own ears. The people who succeed aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who understand these mental traps and find a way to act anyway, even when their own mind is screaming at them to stop.
So we figured out the internal problem. Now let's talk about the external one, the completely broken way we're taught to think about making money. It's time for a revolution, a totally new wealth equation. First, let's just obliterate a huge myth. We tend to think that super rich people just inherited it all, that you have to be born into the club. But look at the data. More than 2/3 of the world's ultra-wealthy, they're self-made. They started from scratch. This proves the game is winnable.
And here it is. This is the big aha moment. We're all taught the old equation. You trade your time for money, a job, an hourly wage, but that will always have a ceiling. The new equation, the one the wealthy understand, is this. Wealth isn't about time. It's a direct result of solving problems for other people.
So who decides what your solution is worth? The market. And what's the market? It's just people. Everybody. And the market doesn't care how hard you work. It only cares about the perceived value of what you do. That's why someone who cleans houses, who works incredibly hard, gets paid less than an accountant. It's not about effort. It's that the market perceives the accountant solution as more valuable.
Okay, so if solving problems is the what, let's get into the how. How do you actually find a problem worth solving and build something that generates real wealth?
Honestly, it's simpler than it sounds. You don't need some lightning bolt of genius. You just need to listen. Seriously, what do people around you complain about all the time? What are they frustrated with? What do they say they wish existed? Hidden inside those complaints are million-dollar business ideas. But here's the catch. It's not enough to just have a solution. It has to be able to scale. Think about it.
A local yoga teacher solves a problem, but only for the 20 people in her class. Her time is the bottleneck. But an online yoga platform, it solves the same problem for millions of people all at once, 24/7 with no extra effort. That's the difference. That's scale.
So it all boils down to these two things. These are the keys. First, scale. Your solution has to be able to reach a huge number of people. And second, automation. You need systems that work for you, even when you're not there. This is how you finally break the link between your time and your income.
So we've gone through the psychology, the equation, the method. But why? What's the point of all this? What's the real prize we're after? It's probably not what you think. Because let's be real, nobody actually wants stacks of green paper. What we want is what that paper represents, what it buys. And what it buys is freedom. The freedom to wake up and do what you want with your day, every day, without asking for anyone's permission. And that's the ultimate goal. The whole point of this entire equation, solving problems at scale with automation, is to buy back your single most valuable, most precious, non-renewable resource. It's to buy back your time. So I'm just going to leave you with this final thought. No matter what path you choose in life, struggle is guaranteed. Working a 9-to-5 you don't love is a struggle. Trying to build something of your own is a struggle. You don't get to choose whether you struggle. You only get to choose if that struggle is meaningful. Is it building a cage around you, or is it buying your freedom? What are you going to choose?